We have a module here. This is a robotic arm gripper. Robot arm gripper. So you can see here, it's made up of we have the servo. This is MG995 servo. Oh, it's MG996 Tower Pro servo. And then it has 3 pins, 3 wires. The orange, the signal, red is the BCC, and brown is the ground. We're going to power this gripper arm with 6 volts at 3 ampere. So here, what are we going to do now? We're going to control this robotic arm gripper. It's a robot using this is a 555 timer circuit, and with the capacitor, resistor, diode, and then we have this output LED. So when we control the servo, this LED turns on, and then we have the power LED. We have the capacitor here to avoid the jitters or trembling, so we can stabilize the supply. And then with the use of 100K potentiometer. So potentiometer, this is our controller. We're going to control the gripper arm robotic arm gripper using potentiometer, and the IC is 555. By the way, this servo motor MG995 is you can move the servo from 0 degree to 180 degrees, and it is being attached into attached to the robot arm gripper. If you want to see how to assemble this robotic arm gripper, you can see my video description below on how to assemble this robot arm gripper. So let us connect it to the supply. We now have our circuit connected. Is the robotic arm gripper, and then power supply 6.29 volts. So we have now the supply because of our power indicator on. And if we're going to rotate the potentiometer clockwise, so the current now is 0.126 ampere, as you can see in the supply. If I'm going to rotate this, the LED turns on and off, on, and the current is 0.027 milliampere, and then when it is on, and then when it is off, 0.125 126 milliampere when it is off. So clockwise, the LED turns on, and the gripper, we move the gripper. So the LED turns on and off, the gripper moves, and then the current also increase and decrease from 28 to 120 milliampere. So we now have the oscilloscope, and then we have the power as by this power LED indicator on. So initially, we don't have the waveform. And when I rotate the potentiometer clockwise, there is a waveform. And then continue clockwise. So we have a frequency of 48 hertz, or almost 48.3 hertz, or 50 or 47, 50. Approximately 50 hertz, should be 50 hertz. And then this time period, we can vary that, or the pulse width modulation, by moving the potentiometer. At the same time, it moves the arm gripper. So you can see here, I'm varying the width, or we call that pulse width modulation. Increasing the width, making it wider, will increase the frequency. So we are manipulating 1 millisecond up to 2 millisecond. At 0 millisecond or 1 millisecond, we have 0 degrees, and then up to 2 millisecond, our period is actually 20 millisecond. But we are only using 1 millisecond for the 0 degrees, or the initial position, and then 2 millisecond for the wider. So we can control the PWM. We can control the width of the pulse by turning the potentiometer clockwise. We now have the figure 1, robotic arm gripper control using 5x5 timer potentiometer. So we have the 5x5 timer. Where is the robotic arm gripper? This servo motor, that is the robotic arm gripper. And then potentiometer. So this one, potentiometer 100K. So we're controlling the robotic arm gripper using the potentiometer and then the 555 circuit. So we're using 6 volts. Why 6 volts? because that is the required supply for the servo. At the same time, we can supply 6 volts to the 555 timer. And then the current here, 3 ampere. That is the current limit. But in our testing, we're just getting, I think, 0.12 ampere. So here we have the power indicator. When we connect the supply, this red LED turns on, indicating that we have now the power to the circuit using 470 ohms resistor. And then what kind of servo motor we are using for the robotic arm gripper? We are using MG996. It is capable of rotating from 0 degrees to 180 degrees. So it can rotate clockwise using the potentiometer from 0 degrees to 180 degrees. And then here, why do we have this capacitor? To stabilize the supply, to avoid jitter or trembling. Jitter. So we can have this decoupling capacitor to avoid the jitter. And then to the 555, what is now the configuration of the 555? It is configured as a stable multivibrator. And what is that? It is oscillator. So it oscillates because we configured that as oscillator. So here at the output pin 3, we have the pulse, continuous pulse. It is a square wave or a square wave. It oscillates, repetition of pulses or train of pulses here at the output. So this is configured as oscillator in a sourcing current. Sourcing current supplies the pulse, or we call this voltage level trigger, to the servo. And then how can we move the gripper? Let us first see the initial state of the circuit. The wiper is connected here at the pin 1. So we're going to draw that. If this is the potentiometer, this is the pin 1, pin 2, pin 3. So the pin 1 is connected here at the discharge pin, and then to the fast switching diode. Why do we use that? To provide a fast charging to the capacitor. And then we have this discharging resistor to discharge the charge. So connected pin 1 here, and it's connected to the 6 volts. So initially it is connected here. So when we rotate the potentiometer clockwise, CW clockwise, we are just making to move the potentiometer upward here. It's like this one. Clockwise means wiper is moving upward because the wiper is in the middle. This is connected to the pin number or 6 volts supply. So initially, if we are dealing, or if our output is train of pulses, square wave or digital pulse, that is because current flows into the, so initially It is pointed at pin 1. So current flows here. Fast charging the capacitor. So we're going to see the charging of the capacitors look like this. 2/3 of the VCC. 2/3 of 6 volts, which is 4 volts, because 1/3 is 2 volts. So 2/3 4 volts. When reaching a 4 volts threshold, which is connected to the pin number 6 threshold, and it triggers it into it triggers the charging at 2/3 of VCC. Now begin to discharge. So when it is charging, this graph, this is the 0. What happened to the graph? It will begin to widen the pulse here. So you can see here the frequency is 50 Hertz. Why is it we're using 50 Hertz? Because that is the lock frequency, or the global standard for the servo. Standard frequency used for servo motor, 50 Hertz. And frequency is equal to 1 over period time, 1 over t. That's why if you're going to compute the time period, the period is 1 over 50 Hertz. 1 over 50 Hertz is 20 millisecond. So this is, as we have seen, this is the graph of the PWM. We have seen it in the oscilloscope. So in the oscilloscope, you can see here, this is one period. From this edge to this edge, uprising, 20 millisecond. Period T is equal to 1 over frequency, 50 Hertz. 1 over 50 Hertz frequency, because that is the standard. We have now 20 millisecond. That is the period T. So one period, which is equivalent to one cycle of analog wave, is one period. One period, another period, cycles. So when the capacitor is charging here, so initially we don't have the pulse. So we can now have this 1 millisecond at 0 degrees. So the servo will move at 0 degrees. So it means starting to move at 0 degrees, which is 1 millisecond. And then 5% of duty cycle. Duty cycle is time percentage wherein the waveform is active or on. How many percent? 5%. So 0 degrees is 5%. And then as the capacitor is charging, we can now have this pulse, and then charging, and then it will discharge 1/3 of the VCC. Will now discharge at 1/3 of the VCC. It will discharge here to the 220 dito pin number 7, discharge pin to the ground. So what happened to the graph or to the waveform? This is now the discharging of the capacitor. A wide pulse, but this is a low signal. So charging is this pulse. Charging, discharging of the capacitor graph is this. Charging, discharging. So it looks like this. In the oscilloscope, we can see that as charging here, which is 5% of the actual period or the time period. 5% of the duty cycle, and then discharge. Charge again, charge, discharge, charge. So every time the capacitor is charging, we have an output here, which is 5% of the 5% duty cycle. As we continue rotating the potentiometer, so up to, for example, up to pin 3, we can now have a high resistance, because the current flows here to the R1 100K, and then to the diode, and then to the capacitor, charging the capacitor. So it widens the charging cycle. Okay, and then discharge, charging. So what happened now to the pulse? It will widening the pulse. Instead of 5% now, we are moving it to 10%, 2 millisecond. So it means the servo is moving at 180 degrees. So if this is the angle, if this is 0 degrees, this is 90 degrees, 180 is this, 180. So the angle now moved from here up to 180 degrees here. To the, where? To this first quadrant, second quadrant, then here, second quadrant here. Okay? Second quadrant, 180 degrees. 0, 90 degrees, 180 degrees. 0, 90, 180. So it widened the pulse. Because we have now the charging now has more time to charge because we have a high resistance here. And we discharge again here, the same, but it's now a shorter one. So the moment we rotate this potentiometer clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, it will widen the pulse. For every 2 or 20 milliseconds. For every 20 milliseconds. Because we are dealing with 20 millisecond period. In a 20 millisecond period, we are only manipulating 1 millisecond and 2 millisecond. That is used to control the angle of servo or the rotation of servo. We use only 1 millisecond up to 2 millisecond or in between that for this period 20 millisecond. So the total period is 20 millisecond. But we are only using 1 millisecond and 2 milliseconds here. That is from here to here, 20 millisecond total period. But we are only manipulating 1 millisecond, 2 millisecond to rotate or to change the angle or to move the servo. And that is standard. Why it is standard? We are using 50 Hertz. So this is time domain in oscilloscope, the graph PWM. So we are varying the width of the pulse. So we call that pulse width modulation. Why is it looks like this? Because our configuration or the way the 555 is constructed, it is a stable multi-vibrator or oscillator. It continues to repeat the pulse. Continuous repetition of pulse. With a period of 20 millisecond, frequency of 50 Hz standard for the servo motor. 20 millisecond, we're only using 1 millisecond to 2 millisecond once we rotate the potentiometer to change or rotate this servo. And what's this? To turn on this LED. So when we rotate the potentiometer, there is now a current here that will turn on this LED indicator. So it means there is now a voltage level triggering pulse to the motor. Once there's voltage triggering pulse here, current now flows into the servo and it will move the servo or the robotic arm gripper. And that is our robotic arm gripper control using 555 timer and by using the potentiometer. The manipulation of the pulses, widening of the pulse due to the rotation of the potentiometer.